Hi, if you clicked on this, you're a procrastinator like I am. Let's have a chat. It's a much needed little reflection. This might be a lot more directed towards me than it is you, but hopefully you get something out of my ramblings. While I'm talking, hi, you'll be seeing me clean my office and do other things around my office today, like putting up shelves. Oh, that safety should be on. Putting up shelves and just kind of tidying up my office a little bit because it needs it. Yeah, let's talk about procrastination. Oh my god, this is something I have struggled with my entire life, and honestly, it got really bad the older I got. I don't think it was something anyone noticed from me until maybe high school, maybe middle school. I always put off doing my homework and other things like that until the last minute. And honestly, it was something, as a kid, you're very perceptive of your environment. And I sure as shit was. You know, my mom, I'm not calling her out, but that's definitely where I got my procrastination from, is my mother. And so I did watch her procrastinate, and you'd think that would help me not do that. But that's not how cycles work. Come on now. I'm trying to work with my procrastinative tendencies. That's not even a word. I just made that up, I think. I'm trying to work with it instead of against it. We're gonna get into that. And the worst part is, I of course procrastinate things I don't want to do. I'll put off responding to emails and texts, and especially calls. And I'll put off things like doing the dishes and that kind of thing. But honestly, household chores have gotten a lot better for me just from learning and experiencing in my young adult life. But things like calling people back or making appointments, that's still very difficult for me. It's something I'm still working on actively, and I've gotten better at it. I think, though, the most frustrating and still the most difficult to accept is how often I procrastinate things that I enjoy doing or I look forward to doing. I don't know if it's some form of self-sabotage. Girl, I don't know. It's really frustrating though when I have this idea in my head or I'm really excited about something, especially when it's multiple things, and I either can't pick a task to do because there's so many things that sound interesting and exciting, or I'm so paralyzed by excitement that I don't want to do anything. Yeah. If that kind of sounds like you, I did just make a video right here where I'm packing an order and talking about just that. Not procrastination. That's today. But I talked about being a multi-passionate person, having a lot of interest, having a lot of ideas, and just being paralyzed by that and overthinking. So watch that. If that kind of sounds like you, you'll probably take something away from it, hopefully. The advice starts around the 12-minute mark. I was, again, packing an order and got distracted, which is why I thought I would try for the first time to just sit here and talk and do nothing with my hands, and it's scary. This is so scary. I almost unintentionally procrastinated, which I think I do a lot, where I'll detach so far from the thing that I either want to do really bad or have planned or need to do. I'll detach fully from it so bad that I forget about it. There's times, yeah, I'll procrastinate and it feels good, like, oh, I don't want to do the dishes, so I'm gonna get a snack and watch a YouTube video. But then there's times where it's like, oh, I kind of want to do the dishes, I need to do the dishes, but I'm just not gonna think about it. And then it almost becomes not ritualistic, but a habit where I don't even, it's unconscious. Like, I don't think about it. And then I just forget about the task until it's too late. I, multiple times this morning, have almost filmed and I've completely forgot about it until I was finally sick of it. So I just propped up the camera, and you know what? I did not know what to talk about. But I turned on the camera, and I guess we're talking about procrastination. So here we are. And this is so scary. I gotta be honest. I'm talking to myself in a camera, and I will barely edit this because that's what I do. And I'll put it online for potentially millions of people to see, but realistically, maybe 100. But still, that's scary. This is vulnerable. And I think that's kind of my challenge to you, is to get more vulnerable. Maybe just journaling is vulnerable to you, because it is to me. So I encourage you to journal, and you don't have to journal an entire page, because that can be scary too. I want you to just take what you're feeling and try to put it into one word or a sentence, maybe a paragraph. You don't have to do a full 6-page spread in a journal. I think that's what stopped me from doing certain things that I know help me or I know that I enjoy, is I didn't want to do them for such a long time. I used to journal not just every day, I used to journal throughout my day as a teenager. And honestly, it's how I coped. And part of me didn't know how to journal about good things. I would journal about all the bad things. So, again, another tip for you, gratitude journaling. Oh my god. And I don't even write mine down most of the time. I just think about it or say it out loud. Like, I'm so grateful for my apartment. I'm so grateful for my cats, etc. It can be more general or more specific, but maybe it will help your procrastination. Maybe not, but you'll probably feel better. What? I'm not saying I'm a miracle worker. Hey, if perfection is what is stopping you from starting or continuing on a project or something like that, like a chore, whatever, look at me. My goal was to start posting on YouTube once a week, every Saturday. And instead of making these elaborate, long videos or perfectly edited, polished videos, I said, fuck it. I'm setting up my camera. I'm going to not censor myself, not cut myself off, minimally edit my videos. And I'm just gonna let myself talk, give myself a topic, or like today, I just kind of sat down and started talking. And go with it. And if someone watches it and likes it, that's awesome. And if someone watches it and hates it, that's kind of awesome too. Because then, yeah, you're not for everyone. I'm trying to reframe the way I view things like that, like validation. I kind of get excited when what I make, or even who I am, isn't for someone else. They don't like it. They don't like how I dress. They don't like what I make. Because that's kind of cool, because that's one step further into a circle of people that do like how I dress or do like the things I make. Does that have to do with procrastination? No, but that was just a thought I had. Hey, who cares? Okay. Anyway, if you procrastinate, like I'm doing with my work, if it has to do with, let's say, housework or something like that, use your imagination. Most of us have one. Use that little noggin of yours and just pretend. Pretend for a second. Act like you're a child. Tap into that childlike wonder, okay? And pretend that in set amount of time, let's say 1 hour, in about an hour you have guests coming over. You have an hour. Go. Clean. That usually gets my ass moving when I act like people are coming over, but sometimes that doesn't work. So another tip I have, if you are procrastinating housework specifically, actually invite people over, which is what I did this weekend. If you're my family watching this, hi. That's not the only reason I invited y'all, but it's helping. Actually invite maybe just one person or a couple people over, and suddenly at some point you'll have the motivation to clean. I'm still kind of searching for it. I'm feeling it ramp up, that motivation. It's in a few days when people are coming over. But usually right before they come over, I'm just like, I'm a turbo. I'm cleaning everything. I'm Danny Tanner. Everything needs to be spotless. So, you can do that. If you procrastinate homework, which I'm so grateful I'm not in school. I'm so sorry you are, and I hope you enjoy it. I truly do. But if you procrastinate homework, or I guess other things like that with a deadline, honestly, I currently do not have tips for that I can think of, because I struggle with that too. I do things I don't necessarily enjoy doing, but honestly, I do find a little joy in mundane things like cleaning. I like baking, I like cooking, I like that kind of stuff. There definitely are tasks that I just hate doing. Real talk. There are things I put off. But I think the first step of working with your procrastination and not against it is to just be honest with yourself where procrastination comes up in your life. Like I said, for me, I'm still learning this. I'm still unpacking this. Definitely due dates, scheduling appointments, and putting off things that I genuinely want to do. I'll touch on a last point, because this might help out artists that sell their work like I do. Procrastinating artists. I feel like a lot of artists are procrastinators. I will just say I have noticed a big change in my, not necessarily motivation, but momentum, which I want to touch on that word at the end of this video, but this is my last main point. So I offer commissions, plushie commissions like these. And I have found throughout the past year and a half or so that I've done commissions, that when I take on one that I'm not excited about, I procrastinate like no other. If I take on one that I'm excited about, but it's difficult and I need a lot more, I need to think a lot more, use a lot more brain power on the idea or the pattern or whatever, I also procrastinate. And especially when it's both of those at the same time, like one that I'm currently working on, it just, it feels like I'm hitting two bricks together. It feels like I'm a little monkey, and instead of symbols, I have two bricks, and I'm just hitting them together. That's what it feels like. I'm hitting them together, hoping to start a fire. Like, I don't know what that analogy means, but if you get it, I guess you get it. That's what it feels like when I take on a project that I'm both not excited for and it's difficult. What I'm trying to do for, the love of myself and taking care of myself and honoring my time is I'm going to stop taking on projects I'm not excited for. Not necessarily the ones that challenge me. If I'm excited for it and it challenges me, that's a good thing. But I'm done taking projects that don't excite me, that don't interest me. So I recommend you do that as well. It's also the way I'm trying to unlearn my fear, like money related wounds, money related fears, is not being so desperate for orders or support financially. That's what has happened with a few of my customs. Again, great ideas, but just things that I was not necessarily aligned with or excited for. And I would take them on anyway because orders were slow or whatever excuse I had. And that's fine for past me, but I'm done doing that. That's all. And I suggest other artists and other people that have clients in general do the same. There was a word I said I was going to come back to, and I forget it. Momentum. Momentum. Motivation versus momentum. And I'll probably make a video specifically touching on this topic in the future. But for now, I hear a lot of people say, including myself, yeah, I'm calling myself out, I don't have the motivation. I don't have motivation today. I don't have the motivation to fold my laundry, wash my dishes, post on social media. Sometimes you don't have motivation, you don't have inspiration, you have no desire to do that thing. And if it's something that you genuinely don't see purpose in, I think that's important too. If you don't see any purpose in something like folding laundry, like myself, and I'll touch on that. If you don't see any purpose in a task and it doesn't really impact positively your way of life, maybe you can cut that task out, right? For example, I don't necessarily hate folding laundry, but I don't love it. I've tried so many different clothing organization systems, including hanging my clothes and folding them in drawers, etc. And I did not like either of those two. Honestly, the only laundry I fold are towels and like bed sheets and stuff. What I did with my clothes is I have about 4 to 5 different bins in my closet, and I just stuff them in there in categories. So I don't fold anymore. I don't even hang up things. My clothes might be a little wrinkly, but I'm happy and it saved me some time, right? Cool. But you know, there are things you can't really avoid doing, like at some point you'll have to do dishes. So I guess just evaluate the task at hand, and if it's something you can completely eliminate and replace with a different system, you can do that. You know, experiment, test things out. But sometimes it's not a matter of motivation or lack of inspiration, but it's actually lack of momentum. This is where those timers come into play. I use timers a lot. For about any task you need to do, set a short timer. I'm talking 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Let's say you need to just clean in general and you don't know where to start. Set a 10-minute timer, pick up all the trash, pick up all the things that don't belong in that room and put them away. The timer's probably over. Once the timer's over, you can kind of reevaluate how you feel. And if you still feel like cleaning, good. And if you don't, that's fine. You also just got 10 minutes of cleaning done, so you don't need to continue if you don't feel like it. Sometimes though, and usually, honestly, when I do these timers, that 10 minutes or that 5 minutes is all I need to just get that momentum going, to feel like, okay, I can do this. It's not as big as I thought it was. This task isn't going to take the whole day. I can do this. And you can do this too. I feel like that timer method is pretty common, so if you've tried it, let me know. It helps me out a lot. So I always have timers going usually. I usually set timers instead of alarms. I don't know why. Anyway, I have talked enough for the day. I always feel like these videos I'm just talking and I hope the points string together, but I don't really know until I watch this back. Especially when I don't write anything down. Maybe I should try that. I don't know. And also, I just feel so awkward. Like, do I talk with my hands this much? I probably do. Jazz hands. But you know what? That's fine. That's me. I hope you enjoyed watching me kind of clean up my office and talk about procrastination. If you took anything away from this video at all, I would really appreciate if you let me know. Your comments do give me the momentum and the motivation, look at what I did there, to keep posting and keep talking, because hopefully my goal with all my ramblings and videos like this is that someone will feel a little less alone, a little bit of comfort, and a little bit heard. Because at the end of the day, what? Because at the end of the day, we all deserve to feel welcome, and you're welcome here. As always, I make art, plushies and other art like that. There's a lot of cool things coming in 2025 and beyond for Cyberclown Co., which is me. Hi, I'm Kendall. If you are interested in any of my plushies or other arts, visit cyberclownco.com. You can follow me on all socials at cyberclownco. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Okay, I just wanted to show you all this. This is the current display. So fun. Yeah. I think it really turned out cute. Let me kind of explain. So these are some Webkins I have in boxes. I'm still trying to figure it out because you can't really... I'll get into that, hang on. These are the Webkins with the Kins clips. I really like these. Of course, the brown dog is probably my favorite. I wanted a brown dog so bad as a kid, and now I have multiple. And then the koala bear with the amazing hamster. I'm not hiding it on purpose. And then I have these with the cardboard backing. Now, of course, I wanted them all to be shown equally, but I realized that the clips they're on pulls the hammock a certain way, and basically they all fell down. So to make the weight distribute evenly, there are a couple that are hidden, and I feel bad, but I don't want to put these up again. I can probably fit a couple more up here, but I didn't want to press my luck today because I already had to put them all up again. But yeah, this is just a small portion of my Webkins collection, but as I go through it, I hope this will be a good chunk of them. We'll see. Yeah, that's it. Okay, one last quick update. They all fell because my perfectionist brain kicked in and I fixed them a bit. You can still barely see her, but you can at least see them all now, you know? And I added a few more. We'll see if it stays. I truly hope so. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.